Three, two, one. Hey, the sun's out and it's a beautiful day. Welcome in. Much love. Trav here. New living end for the new meta, the new modern metagame as I prepare for San Antonio. Hopefully improve the microphone, although there's a lot of wind. Hopefully not too much wind. It's just too nice to be outside with the sun going on. And first of all, living end. I'm not going to deck tech this. Actually, let's go inside. The wind does suck. We'll come back out when and if it dies down. So first of all, I'm not going to deck tech living end, but just quickly tell you why I got credit for inventing the deck. So, um, some people are like, I heard you stole it, or heard you. I think it's funny to respond to stuff like that. So this, you have a simultaneous innovation in a lot of things. Living End's a fairly obvious deck. Hypergenesis was tier 1 at the time, so a lot of people were coming up with this at the same time. It took a really long time for people to figure it out, and I was on the front lines of that. But the reason that I got credit for it is because I recognized the opportunity. I used my minimum wage job at the time to buy a plane ticket to fly 1,000 miles to play in a Magic tournament, and I finished in the top 4. That's why I got credit. In this world, you don't get credit for ideas, you get credit for your action, implementation, and results. So there was a few other people on the internet playing Living End at the time, but they didn't put their nutsacks on the table like I did, and that's why they didn't take risk, right? And that's why I got the credit. So other people, I wasn't necessarily credited for inventing it, but I was credited for proving that it was viable, right? So you don't take credit, you were given credit. I was given credit, I didn't take credit. I did take credit, but it doesn't matter if you take credit if you're not given it. So I took and I was given. Anyways, sounds like there's a T-Rex here. Wind keeps blowing on the door. Anyways, Living End for the new meta. So I'm preparing for San Antonio. Basically, I want to play Living End. I didn't feel like I was good enough with Death Shadow, which is what my team wanted me to do. So I'm going to play Living End instead, and I want to tune it to beat Death Shadow. And I previously, you saw the 9 and 1. I didn't play against Death Shadow in there, and I finally started getting paired with it. Found out, even though I had lost from the Death Shadow side, it's not necessarily a great matchup. So we know that Death Shadow, and I want to try very hard to beat it. We know Death Shadow is most of the decks are going to be on Death Shadow, most of the teams. The current meta online, it's like 5 to 10%. I think it'll be more like 20% at the team tournament, and it might be 15%, 20% Bant Eldrazi. Bant Eldrazi is also a discard deck with Thought-Knot Seer plus Eldrazi Displacer. And then the third deck could be Affinity, it could be Ad Nauseam, it could be Burn, it could be a number of things. But those are the main two decks I'm gunning for: is Ad Nauseam or is Death Shadow and Thought-Knot. And my feeling about Thought-Knot or Death Shadow especially is they have so much discard, and I'll show you in the videos here. We're gonna go through a 4-in-1 week. They have so much discard that they always will put you to top decks. So they always put you down to top decks. And Thought-Knot Seer will also often put you on a top deck. So you have to rip a Cascader to win the game. Nothing else matters, especially against Death Shadow. The only thing you care about is top decking a Cascader almost all the time. You don't want to top deck Fulminator Mage. Fulminator Mage is really poor against that deck actually because everything costs 1 and they already have their action out by turn 3 and it's not a good top deck. Same with Blood Moon, same with Riders, same with Streakmaw. You just want more Cyclers and more Cascaders. And I feel like in the meta when people are playing 10 discard main, 8 Cascaders is not enough. I want more top decks. And the only other Cascaders are Captured Sunlight or Cathari Remnant. So Cathari Remnant or Captured Sunlight. Captured Sunlight I think is better because it fits with the mana better. A Captured Sunlight forces you to cut your 3 mana plays as well that aren't Cascaders. So it means no Fulminator. I didn't want that main anymore anyways, that bad. Blood Moon, we still have access to a lot of this stuff in the board. Maybe this is more than I need. And you have to cut Macabre, but Leyline's a more powerful card. You have a better chance of beating Dredge with Leylines, better chance of winning the mirror with Leylines. Leyline is actually pretty decent against Death Shadow. The green version shuts off their Traverse, shrinks their Goyf, versus the Blue version, it shuts down their Snapcaster Mate, shuts down their Tasigur, shuts down their Street Wraiths from coming back. We also have to cut Simian Spirit Guide, fine. I don't like Simian Spirit Guide very much in this metagame. Simian Spirit Guide is best as tricky play versus um, control, blue counter control like Splinter Twin, which is banned. And Simian is also very important against like Infect, so you are faster, Violent Outburst. But these decks are slower. You don't need to play Simian. I didn't play Simian for the longest time, and you don't have to. So this is approximately the list that I just used. Cyclers, again, more cyclers. I just want more top decks. I want you to Thoughtseize me and you see all cyclers. I want you to Inquisition me and you miss on Captured Sunlight, right? Only Thoughtseize takes this one. Inquisition gets these, only Thoughtseize takes this one. There's the Spiders. Spiders are clunky, but this is a concession to Affinity. We think a lot of the teams will bring Affinity as the third deck. You want a lot of Spiders versus Affinity. You also want Leylines versus Affinity. Leyline shuts off their Ravager from bringing stuff back. Fulminator Mage is fine. It's a bit slow. It does kill their Nexuses, but that's usually not the make or break in the matchup. It's having the Leylines or not, and the Spiders. Also, one reason I like Leyline is because the deck can easily cast it on turn 4 and then play a couple more Living Ends, and everything gets wiped of theirs from that point. So this is a fine cast. So this is where I'm at right now. Mana base, 4 Groves. This is super good against Death Shadow. Lets you keep their life total high, giving you more time to top deck. And then Blackcleave Cliffs is pain free and also lets you not have a swamp in play to turn on their Street Wraith. Very important. Plains and a Godless Shrine. Plus Verdant is 6, plus these is 12 ways to get our white. Plus all our cycling is plenty. I would probably play a Temple Garden, but our Bant Eldrazi deck's going to take it. And then for the sideboard, 4th Leyline. You do want the Fulminators, and this might be too much land destruction, but versus Tron and versus uh, Red-Green Valakut, Fulminators are good versus blue counterspell decks. And I don't mind these versus Bant Eldrazi. Uh, I might move these back to the main, but right now just want to beat the discard decks, and this is not the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Chewers, quite good against Affinity. I board these in against Death Shadow to kill their Nihil spell bombs. Shriekmaw, I really like Shriekmaw, especially with this configuration, because we have no Beast Withins to destroy Rest in Peace. So versus Bant Eldrazi, I want to win through the Rest in Peace, which I've shown you by casting Shriekmaws. And this is where I'm at. Let me go ahead and walk you through the league. I'll show you the league here. Boom. So I lost the last round at like 2 a.m. last night binging. Very, very close, and I'll show you that match. I would be a lot happier if I was 5-0, but if I was 5-0 and happier, then I wouldn't have organized another Death Shadow testing today after this video. So let's go ahead and walk you through the matches. Uh, so I've had and just my record has been fine. I had a 5-0, a 4-1, a 2-3, a 2-2, and a 4-1. So pretty good win percentage. Things got a little bit rockier yesterday. I went 8-6 overall, so which brought me down. My 9-1 dropped off. Whatever. 3, 4. Let me walk you through this build. So game one. Um, show you how it works, and then we'll play some more with it as well. Boom, round one. Make sure it's running. Looks good. Always keep a hand like this. Opponent Ancient Stirrings for a Soar Up against Bant, which is common. I still haven't lost a Bant, although it's a good deck. Displacer, I cycle a Street Wraith. Okay, there's a Reality Smasher. Oh, this is a pretty cool play they make. So this is a really fast play where they're on the draw. Um, Even if I had a Simian, I wouldn't really want to fire it off there because I want to get another creature. Although Simian here would be nice. So I decided to Outburst now so they can't use the Birds of Paradise for mana. And here's a Thought Knot, taking our dead shot. I choose not to attack. We can't cast anything yet. They play a displacer and tap our thing. Thought not attacks. I'm thinking at this point, first of all, let's cycle to see what's up. And I guess we're gonna chump because Displacer's gonna force this shit through. So we can get another creature. Maybe should have been Twisted Abomination. Probably should have been. So we'd have one more A-bomb here. But this is a tough spot because they have so much mana and the Smasher has trample. Something that I missed is they attack and are able to blanket and we die. So they can basically, we can block with everything, but they just tap our stuff and trample through. And game one is a loss. We do want Fulminator Mages and Blood Moons. Their draw was really fast and didn't give us time to set up, and they had good follow-up, so it was a good Bant draw versus a mediocre draw on our ends. So sideboarding, I take out the ley lines for Shriek Maws, I take out the Captured Sunlight for Fulminators and Blood Moons. So here's another decent hand. So Grafdigger's Cage doesn't work against us. This is a common mistake, is it exiles uh, yeah, it doesn't work how you would hope. So the opponent plays a displacer. Go ahead and do this, and they attack me, and they play a Thought Knot. So here's an interesting line where it's like I could let it resolve and then just top deck another one, but it's like, or maybe they think they're safe, so they're not going to take Outburst. I'm not sure. I think like maybe they uh, would take the Outburst anyways, so I'm going to bring my stuff back and kill their things, draw another card, and then we had a little discussion where I'm like, it doesn't work for this reason. Um, so I explain. And then they concede. Maybe preemptively, maybe they just didn't have good follow-up this time. So game three. Again, I still haven't lost against Bant. It doesn't mean it's like unlosable. Okay, this is sweet. They don't know Blood Moon's coming. Why should they? So the Ancient Stirrings. Go ahead and cycle the Carabid. I like to save the Street Wraith in case they play like a Relic, as long as I don't have anything to do. Although I think I did this wrong. I should have played cycled first and then played a tapped Blood Crypt. So there's a Sky Spawner, which is pretty interesting. Go ahead and cycle. And I'm trying to remember what I do here. So my thought is like I would like to Blood Moon, but if I Blood Moon, then they can play a Thought Knot, and we're not going to have black mana. I would like to be able to play the Shriek Maw, get more value, maybe kill a Reality Smasher, or kill a Thought Knot, and then since I have both Blood Moons, they're not going to be able to do much, so I decide I'll go ahead and pass here. I want to be able to Living End, so I Living End, and they negate it, which is interesting. And I say, okay, well, there's a Twisted Abomination, but you know what? Let's just get rid of this stuff while we can. I don't want to deal with a second counter. So here, there's a Sky Spawner. And at this point, it's like, you know what? I'm going to Deadshot the Sky Spawner and have Shriekmaw left over. They fetch, so it really, we didn't even need Blood Moon this game. Like, there's a Drowner and Shriekmaw, so we still had all these. That's often how it will go, although if they had Rest in Peace, I would have just jammed the Blood Moon, and I would have Deadshotted the Sky Spawner and Shriekmaw the Drowner, and we would work our way up that way. You've seen me beat Rest in Peace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, round 2. Walk you through. Let me know if you like this content. I hope you do. It's pretty, like, my content is so varied that I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because some people are not going to like it. Okay, so the opponent's on some sort of a control deck here. I don't really like my control deck matchup game 1 because I cut the Fulminator Mages. So cycle a bunch of stuff. Leyline is pretty whatever here. Um, and this is interesting, is I really want to suspend Living End in this matchup, but they Spreading Seas my land, so I'm not able to on this turn. I could play the Architects, but I figure it's just going to turn on a Lightning Bolt, and I think I'd rather cycle it. Maybe I should have done that anyways. Finally, able to suspend Living End. Okay, now we just wait. I haven't drawn another Cascader. There's a Spreading Seas. And there's a Saheeli, so I figure they're on the Saheeli cat combo, which is actually decent in modern, apparently. Okay. I decided to play an Architects so I can attack the Saheeli. I'm dead to a cat. They don't have the cat. The deck tends to flood actually. We've got 26 mana sources counting the spiders, 20 once we start just casting them. There's a Recluse. A Living End comes off. Boom. All your stuff's a brick. It looks pretty good for us. Okay. Up until the point where bad shit happens. So Cryptic taps all our stuff. And here's a sizable mistake. I should definitely cast a creature. We get bolted. Did not, I don't think it matters, but I definitely should have cast a creature. We get Snapcaster bolted, another Saheeli to burn us out. So maybe could have won that game if I had never cycled Street Wraith and we had 2 more life. Also maybe could have won that game if I had, on the third turn, Twisted Abomination for a tapped land, played the Godless Shrine then. I took 2 more, all I needed is 1 more life to win this game. Not necessarily, because they could Snapcaster Cryptic and then also Loot House. But that was a close game. Take you guys into game 2 here. Man, can't wait to get back out in that sun. So I brought in all the land removal, and that's basically it. Like, I don't have a way to remove Rest in Peace. I don't care that much about it either. I think Relic's more likely thing to see. So, I always want to try to save Blood Moon, set them up as much as I can. I go for a Fulminator. They don't have the mana leak. That's usually all they'll have is just a couple leaks. Go for the Riders. They leak it. And I'm just going to beat down with the Fulminator this game until they're about to be within range of comboing off. Cycle. I love suspending Living End versus Blue, which I just did there. So 3 turns. Will be back in action, and that's hard for them to deal with because they can't leak a suspended Living End. They can't double leak a suspended Living End. They have to have a Cryptic Command or a Negate, which they don't play too much of. So I like playing a Deadshot Minotaur here, just getting pressure on the board in case our thing gets countered. So see, it'll happen the next turn. Put you to 4, and I went for Blood Moon. I went for Blood Moon this turn because next turn is the turn that they could potentially Saheeli combo, and they don't have a plains. I want to stop that from happening. So I went ahead and played Moon, and they only had the leak, so that was it. I mean, they can attack, but Living End comes off. And this time, they only have mountains, so definitely I like waiting for the window for Blood Moon if they don't know about it. So for game 3, I sided Blood Moon out because I figure they're going to go well out of their way to make sure they have basics. And I think I'm not exactly sure what I had instead. Well, here's an interesting one. 6 cyclers in a land. I'm going to keep that. There's a chance that you brick, but so cycle. At this point, I'm like, I got it on the last draw. Like, this could be an ugly game. But we got there. So there's a Relic of Progenitus. We're facing a Relic, and we're stuck on lands here. Cycling. Although the Relic has a lot of work to do, one at a time. Okay, there's a Spreading Seas. Fulminator Mage number 1. Countered. And there's a Relic. This doesn't look good, right? I don't mind it. Fulminage number 2. Snapcaster gets countered. Okay. Avalanche Riders number 1. I decided to leave the non-basics. Maybe I should have gone for the plains, but since they showed me, I probably should have gone for the plains, but since they showed me Cryptic, I just want to be able to cast things. Okay. I would maybe suspend Living End, but can't even do it. Cast a Deadshot Minotaur. Snapcaster Bolt. Okay. We're at 5 life. And there's a Felidar Spreading Seas. So at this point, fuck it. If you have it, you have it. Forest Cycle. I don't want to pay extra life either. Maybe I should have. I shouldn't have gotten a basic forest there. That was a mistake. I should have gotten an overgrown tomb and used the island. So Fulminator number 3 comes in. Okay. Cycle. Fulminator number 4 comes in. Try to keep him off red so we don't get burned. They missed a lighthouse there, but maybe they're playing around us following up with another living end. Now we have 4 fulminators in the graveyard. Finally draw demonic dread. And here they make a mistake where they fuck up. I'm not sure what exactly happens here, but they let it resolve, and we get 4 fulminators back. Although the game plan is, if they crack the relic, then I'm cycling these 2 giant monsters, and I'm probably going to win just the same, unless they have a counter spell. So I have discussion about it. This is the thing, people don't get playing against Living End. You have to have a lot of experience, and since it's 2% of the meta, you're not going to get it. You're going to fuck up. Cast more creatures. Relic is gone. And I could have Living End freely at this point, but just destroy your lands, play more monsters. Destroy your lands, play more monsters, and victory, winning through that relic, whatever. Maybe it's a punt, I don't care. Alright, so we're 3-0, 2 rounds left. Show you the Death Shadow matchup finally, and I'm going to have some more videos specifically on Death Shadow coming up immediately. So this is a keep. Death Shadow, by the way, I like to draw first, because it's not about speed, it's about having the right cards. So they thought sees us, okay, I cycle. We have a dread and 2 outbursts, so I'm happy. It's going to be hard for them to grind through all that. Thought scour themselves. Okay, I'm going to start giving them extra life with the Grove. I think I missed it at one point in this game. Twice maybe. Yeah, I didn't give them an extra life. You just want to give them, I think you just want to give them more life. So I drew my ley line and can cast the ley line. So now I just need to Living End twice and everything goes, which is my game plan. I'm concerned about Stubborn Denial, Snapcaster Stubborn Denial. Otherwise, I like my chances. Stubborn Denial would be a hard counter anyways. They've only played 2, so I'm going to go boom. It's only a 2 of, and they did not have it. So this stuff comes back, and they concede. I mean, I can cycle and do it again, but uh, they don't have the counter. So game 2, and I mean you can see just having more Cascaders is the way to go here. So I decided to bring in 4 Chewers, which I think is wrong. I think it should be 2 or 3, because Nihil Spellbomb is not that much of a problem, and if they don't draw it, you don't want to draw 4 Ingot Chewers like I did this game. I still keep because there's 2 Dreads. And this is not a great start, you know, we have nothing basically, but we have the 2 Groves, so we can feed the opponent a bunch of life. Right tap, give you 2 life. Untap, finally drew a Cycler. And if they saw the ley line, so they might have boarded out their Tassiger, stuff like that, and relying on Death Shadow. But if we're just giving them life, there's not so much they can do about it. So Ingot Chewer number 3. I have ley line, but ideally I want to wait on ley line. Let's see, they picked up a Street Wraith or something like that. Ideally, I want to wait on ley line. Thoughtseize. To fight through Stubborn Denial, and maybe that was a mistake, but I don't want to get Stubborn Denial. At this point, start to get some presence on board. This is really technical. Basically, I want my power to be enough to kill them, even if they can play several Death Shadows on the next turn. I want my power on board to equal their life total before I attack, something like that. So 3rd Grove, I'm gonna give you a bunch of life. I'm way ahead. They killed the Twisted A-Bomb with the Lightning Bolt. I'm surprised they left that in, I suppose. Okay, there's a ley line. Unplay the ley line. Keep the Groves up for flexibility. So now I just need to Living End twice, and everything will get exiled. 4th Ingot Chewer. This is a mistake. Evoking this extra one, I think, is a mistake. Probably evoking both extra ones. Yeah, that was just bad, because you want to save them for the spell bombs, and they end up in the graveyard anyways. Although, no, we want them so that we have win on this board position as well. So now they have 2 Street Wraiths, and we are a little bit naked if they can take our last captured Sunlight here. They decide to go with the Swamp Walk win. But, I mean, here's the thing, is like the plan worked. Leyline is good here, and basically it was our last captured Sunlight. That's the sideboard card that wins. Top deck Demonic Dread, but who's mad about having an extra one? Boom! Alright, the issue though is that we O2'd the finals, so show you what happens here. I think I played pretty poorly and we ran a little bit below average. Although I think the most I can expect is like 60% win or something like that. So keep this hand. They cycle, and they have a way to make us discard. Cycle, cycle. They have Serum Visions. I don't have Grove this game. Drew my Captured Sunlight, top decked it. That's the card we wanted to top deck, right? Thought seized for our captured, so we're back down to top decks. Although we've got cycle, cycle, okay, brick, brick, pass the turn back. And this is the position that always comes up. They thought seize us again, or Inquisition is a brick, um, and cycle, and Tassiger. So, I mean, this is the position that always comes up. You just want to have more cycle, cycle again, suspense. You just want to have more top decks, right? Tap, brick, cycle, and dead. However, you can't see it. I checked the top card of the deck was Captured Sunlight. So I feel that this is the correct way to approach the matchup. Because if we were just one card deeper, we would have won. They have no cards left. They'd be super, super fucking dead. I think they got lucky to dodge a bullet when we have 12 Cascaders. Although I could have a fourth Captured and only 2 ley lines. And perhaps that would have won it. So game 2, I sideboarded like before, although I think I only had 2 or 3 chewers. I chose to go second because I think it's really not about speed, it's about having extra cards. Again, I have no groves. Again, they have. And I top deck Leyline turn 1. Kind of bullshit. I haven't had it in my opener in any of these. Okay, whatever. Which ends up being very relevant here. No groves. Okay, the Inquisition. I've got none of these left. Cycle. There's Outburst. Okay. Now here's where I punt, I think. It's a really hard play. They play a fetch land, and they play a Snapcaster Mage. So the Snapcaster Mage on Thoughtseize is going to take our Outburst or our Sunlight. I'm concerned, and this is definitely wrong, because at 13 life we have a lot of time. They take our Outburst and they have another one for our Sunlight. Suddenly we have none. We're on top decks. So I decide to Outburst here, but the issue is our board is not very impressive, and they can crack fetch for a Death Shadow. So I think this seems like a punt where I Outburst here, and they have their Street Wraith, and they do indeed have Death Shadow. Didn't draw Demonic Dread for the win. Have to attack. The Street Wraith's going to go in because it will put the opponent down to force the chump block and put them down to 3. So they're going to have burn to finish it, which they do. They have cycling plus Kolaghan's command. Close match. I don't, I would have liked to win. Would have liked to play better and draw better. It's a really impressive deck, and I don't expect to do too much better than 50-50. So I am working hard to play it, to beat it, and respecting it. And 4-1 with this janky version is exciting. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you do, leave comments down below. Let me know that you like it, and I will do more. So very simple. And speak with you soon. Much love. I'm gonna go get some sun now. Leave some comments, y'all. Let me know how you like it. Speak soon. Peace.